Hey everyone, Kenton Meyer here. Today I want to talk about the single most important topic that I would plead with you to listen to for the next 20 to 30 minutes, which is AI. Most importantly, AI is coming for your job and your career, and if you're young, you need to select the correct field to get into to not be displaced by AI automation. This is a massive topic that most people, especially young individuals, are not aware of. And I'm trying to get this message out there because it is very important if you're just entering the workforce or you're just entering college to correctly pick a career that will be around by the time you either graduate or get a job in the field. So I'm going to start with jobs that are most likely going to be automated in the next 5 years, and then I'm going to get to the jobs that will most likely be around for several decades. But I need to preface this by saying predictions about AI capabilities have been far too conservative. If you look at many different graphs and data out there, experts have been consistently predicting capabilities like coding or mathematical or logical reasoning far, far, far into the future, like years or decades away, whenever we're already seeing, honestly, incredible results in these fields, like mathematics or coding. We're already seeing models being able to solve problems or develop software or code that most experts thought were maybe 5 to 10 years away. So let's quickly go over this. Software is a terrible field. Do not get into software engineering now. What we're already seeing with junior developers is that they are unable to find a job. The people who are keeping their jobs in the fields of software engineering or coding are people who have 10 to 20 years of experience. What it's creating is there are more and more and more applicants, but less and less jobs, meaning it's more and more difficult and competitive to find one. So software engineering and coding is something you pretty much should not get into unless you're like some prodigy at it or have already years of experience. But let's get into other things like basic finance roles or junior accountants. These jobs are already being automated. AI is already can analyze data significantly better and market trends than people entering this field, and it's just only going to continue to get better at providing financial advice or like this data analyst type of finance role or even accountants. Another important one I think that most people aren't talking about is maybe content writers or basic social media managers or basic even something like a paralegal. What we're already seeing is, especially in fields that are writing heavy or knowledge workers, we're already seeing this be sped up significantly by AI. As these tools continue to develop and get better, it will only make sense to automate away these jobs. Some other ones like market researchers, graphic designers, some more of these creative type of roles, these are going away in the next 5 years. I highly recommend you not get into them. Let's talk about the degrees. Most importantly, computer science, software engineering, do not even start these. Don't even waste your time with them. Even if you do land a job out of college, it's going to be significantly difficult to keep that job over the long run. Something like data science, digital marketing, or graphic design. This whole argument I see online is that, like, well, you always want a human in the mix for more of these creative things, like maybe digital marketing or graphic design. But what people don't realize is if you already have like 500,000 people or 1 million people in these roles in like the United States, if AI is automating away like 75% of them, that means you're going to have significantly more workers who are trying to find jobs. So it's going to be more competitive. Yes, there may be humans still in the loop, but it's going to be significantly more competitive. Other things like business administration, finance, accounting, information systems, or web development IT are going away. Do not waste your time with these jobs. Now, let's get into the more interesting ones. These ones are, people think, probably decades away or maybe never going to be automated if you're not familiar with the space or keep up with the advancements in it. Let me explain what's going to be going on. AI is once there are 4 different categories, and David Shapiro is one of the people who talk about this, is that AI is eventually going to be better, faster, smarter, better, faster, cheaper, safer than a human. So all the fields that are currently listed right now, within the next 5 to 10 years, I believe by 2035, AI in most of these fields will not just be better, not just be faster, but it will most likely be cheaper and even safer than humans whenever they perform the same tasks. Let's start with lawyers. Contract review and legal research are already being automated by AI systems. I couldn't tell you the exact name, but I already know that there is software out there for legal research that uses artificial intelligence to speed up the process. We're only going to see this continue, and eventually we may get to the point, I'd say it's likely in the next 10 years, that AI is actually doing better legal review, creating better arguments, and can do all of like the back end research than lawyers will do. If you're saving like 5 to 10x time on just legal research and it is just as good as a human, it would make no sense from a financial perspective or a business perspective to keep a human in the loop. So all of these things like paralegals or this back end work for the legal field is going to be most likely automated by AI. Things like software developers and coders are only going to go away. Financial analysts and advisors are going to most likely go away if AI can get better than most humans. Most humans already give poor financial advice. Most financial advisors just give like very basic regurgitated advice. If you can have some sort of AI analyst or advisor who gives better advice that's also cheaper, because most people can't even afford a financial advisor, then it's going to displace many of these jobs. Accountants, CPAs, marketing specialists, HR professionals, these are all knowledge heavy fields. As these models continue to get more intelligent, these are going to be going away. Architects, engineers. Now, this is an interesting one. Some people think like an architect or an engineer, where it's more design and math heavy, is not going to be automated. But what we're seeing is already software and some civil engineering roles may face displacement in the future. These are not the cheapest people. Architects and engineers, there's only so many of them that can go around, and obviously it's a specialized field. But if you can have a system that does it not just better, but it does it cheaper and faster than a human, why would you ever hire a human? This is the whole point. Better, cheaper, faster. Better, cheaper, faster, safer. Yeah. So if an AI can do all of that, there's like no point in even keeping a human in the loop. Consultants, project managers, a lot of these mid-level managers are going to be going away. Economists, urban planners, actuaries, that's like insurance stuff, investment bankers, research scientists, pharmacists. Interesting one. Medication dispensing and drug interaction checking can be automated. We're only going to see this continue with advancements in robotics. So there's honestly no point in pharmacists are just, you might have one human in the loop, like at a pharmacy, but it will mostly be done by systems that automate it. The rest of these, like journalists and reporters, yes, you may have like on the ground reporting and like information collecting, like on the ground journalism, but this sort of back end work for like writing articles or creating content or media will be going away. Translators probably are completely obsolete in the next 10 years, unless it's like some specialized language or like high level translation where you need like where you need to be highly accurate in certain situations, maybe in government areas. But the rest of them, academic researchers, statisticians, all going away. Worst degrees, law and pre-law. I actually was for a while thinking about getting a law degree, but in the last 2 years, as AI has increasingly become more intelligent, I am transitioning more and more away from this. Actually, I've completely transitioned away from this. It's going away, and the field is only going to become more saturated as people face job displacement. Economics are probably also going away. Economic modeling and forecasting already being done better than AI systems. So we already seeing this in weather forecasting. So why not see it in economic forecasting? It's basically, if everything should just be tokenized, then systems are going to be automated like economics, especially already in trading. Like most trading, at least high volume, quick time frame trading is already done by AI systems. Political science, engineering, architecture. Engineering and architecture a little bit safer, a little bit longer, but same idea. It's basically just math and design. So AI is already getting good at math. It's already almost at PhD level. So, well, I'd say it is at PhD level in many areas. Journalism, media studies, public administration, actuarial science, urban planning, all going away. Do not get into these degrees. Next up, 10 to 20 years until potential disruption. Dental hygienists, medical assistants, social workers, chefs, restaurant managers, real estate agents. Most of these mid-level managers at fast food joints are probably going to be going away. We're already seeing tests done in, like, I think some Asian countries. I don't know if it's been done in the US, but completely automated fast food places. What's going to happen is, what people need to realize is that as these jobs continue to get automated and across the board, not just this list, but as jobs continue to get automated, workers are going to retrain. And as workers retrain, they're going to retrain in highly competitive fields, like the restaurant industry, like other things such as maybe like a real estate agents or truckers. And as these fields continue to have more workers and people who are retraining in them, it's going to create deflationary pressures, which push down the wages. So you may be able to find a job in these fields, but they may not pay as well because there's such an influx of available workers or labor. Truckers are going to be completely automated in the next 10 to 20 years, unless it's very like specialized loads that may require human oversight over longer periods. We're almost at it's hard. I don't want to say we're almost at full self-driving, but it's very close. And within the next 5 years, it's probably going to be solved. Within the next 10 to 20, absolutely going to be solved. We're talking about a technological jump from the year 2005 to the year 2025. Cell phones didn't even exist. Smartphones didn't even exist, in the year 2005. In 2025, we have quantum computing. It's not even like we have smartphones that literally have more powerful chips than phones that existed in 2005. So just imagine full self-driving cars now, full self-driving, Tesla, Waymo. Add another 20 years onto that, it's going to be completely solved. And the big question is with truckers, if you get into the industry now, okay, and in 20 years, AI is not just at the level of a human driver, but it's actually safer because it's not going to be distracted, it's not going to be tired. If an AI can do it safer and just as well and even better than a human, it's almost unethical to leave a human in the mix from a business standpoint or from even an insurance standpoint. So if an AI has like 90% less crash rate or, it's 90% safer, it would be unethical and irrational from a business standpoint to still employ human drivers in most situations. Court reporters, mid-level management will be completely going away. High school teachers, this is an interesting one. Most people think that teaching jobs are safe, but 20 years from now, if we can have personal teaching or personalized tutoring that can educate individuals at their own level at different paces, we may see education completely transform. And also, teaching is going to become a highly competitive circle. As people get displaced, teaching is one of the most simple jobs. You only need like a 2 to 4 year degree for some teaching jobs to be able to teach in them. So it's going to be heavily competitive, and some of it's going to be automated. So I think it's safe for the next 10 years. 20 years is questionable. College professors, same thing. It's going to be less automated in the college sphere because academia is very institutionalized and they don't like change. But and also academia is kind of like a union, so they kind of like to protect everyone in it. But here's the thing. There's going to be more and more and more deflationary pressures on college jobs as more people get degrees, can't find jobs, and there's going to be like so many applicants for these kind of jobs, so it's going to be difficult to find a job, even if it's not going to be automated. Psychologists, therapy chatbots are already advancing, and many people find them to be significantly valuable. Into 10 to 20 years, if we can have, it's hard to even imagine the capabilities of these models. Most likely, it may be better than most therapists out there. Human connection still matters. We still value that, but like personally, I mean, I don't really care if like I'm talking to someone about my problems, if it's like, and for most of my problems, I'd actually rather talk to an AI system, not necessarily emotional problems, but like sort of like problem solving, if that makes sense. in my life, or maybe like areas of like finance or like career or personal development, I'd actually rather talk to an AI system more than a human, because AIs have more access to information, can provide better advice. The more emotional side of it, probably most likely going to stick around, but some of the other areas of like therapy may be automated. Degrees at risk in 10 to 20 years. These ones are safer, but still at risk. Psychology, sociology, anthropology, philosophy, history, English. Like I said, those ones might not be automated as much, but there's going to be an influx of workers, which is going to cause deflationary pressures. It's also going to make it harder to find a job. Art, history, environmental science, geography, library science. 20 to 40 years until disruption. These ones are safe for the long run, but like they could be, likely will be automated in the future. Skilled trades, as robotics advance, we may find it to be more valuable to automate this kind of work, at least most of it, because it's going to be safer and cheaper than traditional workers. And also, the problem with skilled trades is that as people retrain, you're going to have a massive influx in the trades. So the trades are safe probably for 10 to 20 years, but deflationary pressures are going to find it much more difficult to keep your job or find a job 20 years from now in the trades industry, if not only is there's a massive amount of people trying to retrain in these fields, but also if someone else is going to be doing it for cheaper, because there's so many workers, it's going to drive down wages. So it's not a good area to get into. Like in the next 10 to 20 years, it's safe, but 40 years from now, I don't know. Auto mechanics, this one's probably one of the more safer trades, I think, because cars require, like, they're just so complex component-wise, and it's difficult for, like, a robotic system to get into. We don't have those kind of capabilities right now, but in 40 years from now, who knows? Hairstylists and barbers, I think, are also more safe. Kind of a human connection component there. Teachers also more safe. But like I said, the thing with teachers and barbers is that even auto mechanics is that there's going to be a lot of people retraining these areas. Oil rig workers, pipeline crews, personal trainers are going to be safer. I think actually personal trainers is a great field to get into right now, because as people, as more and more people have more free time, and in the next 20 years, as people have to work less, I guess, because there's not as many jobs, people may have more of a focus on fitness and personal training. So you actually personal training actually may be a great career to get into now. And there's also a great human component of it. So I'd say personal trainers is one of the better ones to start doing. Dentist, I think, is also a great career. Hands-on procedures require dexterity and patient interaction. We may see this get automated, but it's hard to say. Special education teachers is very safe, in my opinion. Not only do you require, I think you require at least a bachelor's, but also it's just, there's a certain human component. It's very difficult to automate, and I don't think everyone is going to want to retrain into this field, so it's probably safer. Elementary school teachers, same thing, although higher risk than special education teachers, in my opinion. Nurses, I think, is actually still a great field to get into. I think it's going to continue to be a great field to get into. The question is, are these kind of more simple roles, like just an RN, is that going to be automated in 20 to 40 years? It's hard to say. But for now, it's a great role. It's a great field to get into. And you can always get a higher level degree to be something like a doctor. Doctors are sticking around for a while. Pilots and airline crews, there are safety regulations and complex decision making that keeps humans involved, but pilots may be automated more, just like long haul trucking. Degrees at risk, 10 to 20 to 40 years. Didn't edit that right. Education, social work, interior design, fashion design. Probably more on the safe side. Maybe psychology. Maybe something like, so something in the medical industry too is going to be safe, but that's going to be more for the 40 plus year jobs. So these ones absolutely get into, I would say, now. So like very specialized trades like plumbers, electricians, HVAC techs. Back here with skilled trades, with welders and construction workers, we're already seeing construction trying to be automated in certain ways, and welding's already being automated with robotics, so that's the kind of trades that are going to be more disrupted. But like the electricians, plumbers, and HVAC techs, that's probably going to be sticking around by the time you retire. Surgeons and nurses, mental health therapists, already mentioned that. Police, firefighters, and paramedics going to stick around, although retraining at risk there. So there could be a bloat of workers. Military, border security, probation officers. This is what I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about. I think that's one of the best fields to get into. The military, not just because of the pension, and border security, not just because of the pension, and probation officers. I think there's a pension if you're depending on state. These fields need human interaction, need human intelligence, decision-making, dexterity, all that sort of stuff. Very difficult to automate. One of the best fields to get into right now. Those kind of like maybe homeland security roles, or like the boots on the ground, military fields, or law enforcement. Commercial fishing crews, unpredictable ocean conditions require human adaptability. This is, I think, a great career. Most people are probably not going to want to retrain in this field, although it could be automated. I don't know. Heavy equipment operators, this is more at risk, but I think like the complex environment factors in something like mining or cranes even are not at risk for at least the foreseeable future, but it's hard to say. Funeral directors probably is a very safe one too. It's a really weird job, but I was thinking about it, and it requires a need for human compassion during grief. So this one, weird job to get into, but you could do it. I don't know about the pay. It might not be great, but it's a job. Medical specialists, emergency room doctors, veterinarians. Safest degrees for 40 plus years. Medicine. Still a great one, guys. Go into medicine or nursing. Still great for at least 20 years. We actually may see an increase. There's always a need for these jobs, and actually may increase as medical things get cheaper. Procedures, things like that. Veterinarian, also very safe. Very difficult to going to be retrained in this field, so it's going to be safe for a long time. Clinical psychology, psychiatry, physical therapy, occupational therapy, early childhood education, special education. Those are going to be the best fields, and that's it. So, guys, what do you takeaway here? Let's get the takeaway. Takeaway is you need to be thinking about this. You need to be thinking about this. This is extremely important. Most people are not thinking about this, and you need to orient yourself around fields that are not just difficult to automate, but also difficult to retrain into. So, yeah, what do you guys think in the comments are going to be the best jobs? Let me know, but thanks for watching.